Hi guys, welcome back to Grace Getting Pilates. Today I'm going to take you through a fundamental mat Pilates class. So this is really good if you're new to Pilates or if you've had a break and you'd like to come back into Pilates. It's going to take you through all the fundamental movements, talk about neutral spine and your breath. This is going to be one part of a 3-series program. So I want to be able to work you up into and progress you into the more difficult Pilates moves. So if you've never done it before, if you're getting back into it, this is a video to watch. So assuming you have no injuries, I'm going to get you to lie onto your back. If you do have any injuries, maybe you want to see a health professional in person. Otherwise, come along on this class with me. You're going to lie all the way onto your back. Your knees are bent. Your feet are hip width distance apart. So that just means in line with your hip bones. It's actually a smaller stance than you might think. So your knees should be a fist width distance apart. So you can close your fist, you can check your knees, the separation here. With your arms, you want them by your side. With your tailbone, you want it to be nice and anchored. So it's flat on the mat. You want a little gap between the small of your back and the mat. So it's a little blueberry sized gap. It's nothing too big. And you're just relaxing through your upper body. So this is what we would call neutral spine. So we're not forcing an arch through our back like this, and we're not also rounding our back like this. It's a nice neutral spine. Arms are by your side. We're going to focus on your deep belly breath here. So you inhale through the nose, and then you're going to exhale through the mouth. So you inhale for a count of 3, and then exhale for 3. You just want to connect into your diaphragm, so it's called deep diaphragmatic breath. And when you have a deep diaphragmatic breath, you're actually expanding your ribcage out laterally. You're opening from the front of the belly to the back of the spine. And then you're also lifting up from the pubic bone through to the chest. So up that way, stretching it. And thinking about this as you inhale through the nose. And then exhale, fully release. We're going to do 3 more deep belly breaths here. Connecting deeper into your transverse abdominals. Each time that you exhale, drawing your belly button towards your spine. 1 more here. Now we're going to add movement to the breath. So inhale through the nose. This time as you exhale, I want you to start to imprint the small of your back into the mat. So it's a little pelvic tilt. And then you're going to inhale to release back to neutral spine. So you're exhaling, drawing your belly button towards your spine, imprinting or flattening your lower back into the mat, and then inhale to release back to neutral spine. So this helps to wake up through your lower abdominals, your lower back. It's just a little movement here to get those deep abdominal muscles awake and switched on. I'm going to raise my arms up to the ceiling so that you can see what my pelvis is doing. It's tilting back and then inhaling to come back to neutral spine. So we're exhaling and then inhaling to release. Let's go for 5 more. I'm going to bring my hands back by my side. And 4. Last 3, little pelvic tilt. It's almost, imagine you've got a bowl of water on your pelvis, and I want you to tip that bowl of water towards your belly button. 2. And 1 more here. Now, assuming that everything was nice and still and you get that movement, we're going to progress that. So you're going to work into your bridging. So inhale, take a deep belly breath. As you exhale, you're going to imprint exactly like what you were doing before. I then want you to press evenly through both feet. You're going to lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Press through the backs of the arms. Inhale up here. And as you exhale, draw your belly button to your spine. I want you to start to crumble through that spine one vertebrae at a time. The last thing to release is your tailbone. You're finding neutral spine again. So inhale, take a deep belly breath. Exhaling, imprinting, peeling the tailbone off, lifting your hips up. Watch that your knees aren't opening out to the side. You want to keep your knees a fist width distance apart, and you want them tracking in line with your second toes. Inhale up here. Exhale, draw your belly button to your spine, roll yourself down one vertebrae at a time, releasing the tailbone at the end. And again, pressing or imprinting, pressing evenly through both feet, lifting up. Feel like you're almost reaching your knees in the opposite direction, so that way you open up through your hip flexors here. Inhale and then exhale, rolling down. We've got a few more like this. Just making sure that you're articulating each vertebrae at a time. Pressing evenly through both feet, lowering down. You want to make this movement look as effortless as possible. Let's go for 2 more. Pressing up. Connecting into the glutes a little bit. Let's go for 1 more here. Exhale, imprint, peel the tailbone off, lifting the hips up. And then exhaling, rolling down. And then I want you to find your neutral spine again. So tailbone's anchored, little gap between the small of your back and the mat. This time I want you to place your hands onto your hips. These are your bent knee openings. You don't really feel these as a traditional core exercise, but these actually target your deep abdominals. And that's what we want to get to when we first start Pilates. We want to activate those muscles so that way we can start to work up through the more superficial muscles on top. So keeping your pelvis nice and still. We don't want that rocking from side to side. Hands are on the hips. You're going to inhale, open your right leg out as far as you can without letting your pelvis tilt off to the right. You can come out to the outside of your right foot. Go as far as you can, and when you feel like you're going to tilt to the right, I want you to inhale. Exhale, draw the leg back through center. We're going to change to we're going to stay on the right side. So inhale, opening out. And then exhale, coming back through center. So focusing on those deep abdominals, you might feel a little bit of a connection here. You also might not feel anything at all. But the main focus is keeping your pelvis still. We don't want your pelvis dropping as soon as you open your leg. We want that pelvis to remain as still as possible. Exhale, coming back. So belly buttons drawing to your spine. Inhaling, you're opening out. Exhale, draw it back in. Let's go for 4 more. Exhale, drawing back in. Remembering you've still got neutral spine. You've got your last 3 here. Two more. And 1 more. We're going to do the same thing, but on the left leg. So keeping your hands on your pelvis. Inhale, open the left leg out. Just go out as far as you can without letting that pelvis drop to the left. Exhale, come back through center. Inhale, opening out. Exhaling, using those deep abdominals, draw the leg back. Good. Keeping that pelvis as still as possible. If you start to lose a little bit of pressure on the left fingertips, it means that pelvis is dropping over to the left. So we want to make sure that you keep that equal pressure through both fingertips. Folding out. Rolling onto the outside of the left foot. Exhaling, coming back. Just take it in your own time. It's just nice and slow and controlled. Let's go for your last 4. Making sure that that right leg is staying still. You don't want the right leg opening out to the side as you open the left. Last 2 here. Last 1. Nice work. Now we're going to alternate them. So you're going to inhale, open your right leg out to the side. Exhale, draw it back through center. Now your left leg. Inhaling, opening the left out to the side. Exhaling, coming back through center. Nice. And again, over to the right. Dropping out. And the left. Focusing on your breath. But if the breath ever gets too much, sometimes it's a little confusing coordinating the both together. Just focus on doing the movement. The breath will come later. Let's do 2 more either side. Last 1. Remember that bowl of water? Imagine you've got that on your pelvis and you don't want it to be over to the right. 1 more. Come on back. Nice work. You can bring your hands down by your side. We're going to work into something called dead bugs here. So, again, keeping the pelvis still. You're going to float your right leg up into tabletop. So this is your tabletop position. You're going to inhale, lower it down. And then exhale without letting your pelvis tilt. Let's alternate to the left. So float the left leg up into tabletop. Tabletop just means that your knees in line with your hip and your shins parallel to the ceiling. And then lower down. Exhale, float the right leg up. Keep that pelvis still. If it's easier, you can place your hands onto your hips. That way you can feel if your pelvis is rocking from side to side. Draw your belly button away from your pant line. So you're drawing it towards the mat. When you draw your belly button towards the mat, you start to switch on through your deep abdominals, and when you switch on through your deep abdominals, you have more of a core connection and more pelvic stability. So that's what we're trying to encourage here. Focusing on neutral spine. You're not arching through the back. You're not imprinting. You're just floating the leg up. And then inhale to lower it. Lower it down. Let's go for 4. Exhale, lift up for 3. 2. Last 1. And then lower down. Well done. So that should be nice and easy. You want to make that movement look as effortless as possible. If it doesn't come easily, just focus on it, take your time, and it will eventually come to you. So we're going to move on to our chest lifts. Keeping your tailbone anchored, feet are hip width distance apart again. This time interlace your fingertips together. You're going to place the hands behind your head. With your thumbs, you want them tracking down your neck. Elbows are out wide to the side, so we're not pulling on our neck. Keeping our neutral spine, you're going to inhale, take a deep belly breath. As you exhale, I want you to start to draw up using your abdominals. So think about drawing your lowest ribs down to meet your hip bones as you curl up. This one's a little movement. Inhale to lower back down. Exhaling, curling up through the head, neck and shoulders. And then inhale to lower down. Notice that I'm not pulling my head up like this to lift myself off. I'm moving from this part to curl up. It makes the movement more challenging. Plus, if you have any neck issues, we want to engage the core more and resist using our neck. So tailbone's anchored, we're keeping our neutral spine, so you've got that little gap, and then inhale to lower down. Exhale, sliding those ribs down to meet the hip bones, and then inhale to lower. Let's go for 7 more. Should only be a little movement. And for 6. You've got 5. Keep those elbows out wide. Keep the head heavy in your hands. For 4. 3 more. Exhale, lift up for 2. Your last one. And then lower all the way down. Well done. You're going to curl up from here. We're going to finish with a cat-cow and then a quadruped. So with your cat-cows, you've probably likely done these ones before, but you want your shoulders over your wrists and your knees in line with your hips. So this is a 4-point kneeling position. If you have any wrist issues, so if you ever get sore on your hands like this, you can always come onto your fists. It just takes that pressure out of that wrist joint. Otherwise, keep your hands flat. Inhale, take a deep belly breath here. Your gaze is down towards the floor. As you exhale, I want you to start to tuck your tail. You're going to start to press through the hands, draw your gaze towards your belly button. Inhale, let the belly hang. And draw your gaze forward, releasing the tailbone at the end. So exhale, pressing away, rounding through the back, drawing your gaze towards your belly button. Inhale, let the belly hang. Draw your gaze forward. So we're getting that movement through the spine. We're connecting and drawing up through our lower abdominals, pressing away from that floor. Inhale, let the belly hang. Let's go for 3 more. Rounding, drawing up. Letting the belly hang, drawing the gaze forward. Last 2. And 1 more like this. And then I want you to find neutral spine. So you're not arching and you're not rounding. To come into our quadruped, I want you, without letting your hips rocking from side to side, you're going to reach your left leg back behind you. Try not to shift the weight over to the right. You're then going to drag the left knee back underneath the hip. And then again, without shifting to the left, you're going to extend your right leg long behind you. And then draw that knee back in underneath your hips. So you're alternating legs. Keep lifting up and out of your arms. So feel like you're pulling apart that mat with both hands. And extending the right leg. Coming back through center. Now the left leg. Coming back. Nice work. Focusing on that pelvic stability. Drawing your belly button away from the mat this time. You've got one more either side. Stay nice and still through the upper body. Last one here. Now we're going to do the same thing but with our arms. So can you inhale, sweep the left arm forward to the top edge of the mat and then draw it back in without letting the body move. Right arm and then draw it back in underneath. So keep lifting up and out of the shoulders, floating the arms forward, drawing it back in line with your shoulder. Belly buttons drawing away from your pant line. One more either side. Last one here. We're going to coordinate both of those moves together. So this time, I want you to extend your left arm forward as you extend your right leg back. Keep the pelvis still. Draw the arm and leg back in. Let's swap to the other side. Extend the right leg, extend the left. Draw it all back in. Belly buttons drawing towards your spine. Remember, if your wrists start to get sore, you can always come onto your fists. We've got our last 4. Lift up and out of your shoulders. So feel like you're pressing away from that mat. You've got 3. 2 more. Last one. Lower the arm, lower the leg. Walk your knees up. You're going to find a child's pose position. Reach your arms out long. You can roll out your wrist in one direction. Roll out in the other direction. Slowly curl up. You're all finished for today. Thank you for joining. I hope that was able to help you get a bit of a core connection going. So this is part 1 of a 3-part series. So I'll release series 2, which makes the exercises a little bit more challenging, up to series 3, which makes it even more challenging again. So each time you should feel like you're progressing. Thank you so much, and I hope to see you again next time. Bye guys.